Coach's Corner right here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Kevin Fitzgerald alongside manager Kelly Nicholson. This guy's in a great mood today. I'm looking forward to this interview. First pitch is coming up at 5 o'clock here at Cotuit. And Coach, a big rally last night, a victory over the Wareham Gatemen back at home. You're 6 in a row right now. Now the hottest team on the Cape. And how did it turn so quickly right now, Coach? How did it turn so quickly? Middle portion of the season. I don't know what you're going to say now.
You know what, our guys just... they've played pretty well all summer, Fitzy, and they've competed right down to the final pitch, the last inning. And we're just kind of now starting to put things together, and instead of finding ways to kind of lose ball games, we're finding ways to win ball games. And our starting pitching has been good. The back end has been good. The guys are swinging the bat. We've been playing solid D, and like I said all along, that's a good recipe for success, and hopefully we can keep this thing going.
And now it's Cotuit today. Right here, 5 o'clock first pitch at Lowell Park. And Coach, you had the weekend basically full of rain. The All-Star game was on Saturday. You had a few days off. You didn't play before yesterday until the previous Thursday. Now you're going to go run into the playoffs without missing a beat. Do you prefer that, not to have any days off and keep this team rolling? It seems like they're upbeat. Do they prefer this, heading right into the playoffs without really any days off?
Well, I think so, Fitzy. We're going to play that doubleheader Friday against Harwich. So we're going to play today and tomorrow and Thursday double on Friday. Saturday, Sunday against Chatham. We'll have a day off on Monday, and then hopefully, we're not in yet, but if we're fortunate enough to get in and playing on Tuesday, and if we're playing well, you want to keep playing. If you're not playing very well, you kind of welcome a day off. So around the All-Star break, I'm always a big proponent of how if I was doing it, I'd like a day off before and after the All-Star game, just to rest and let these guys enjoy the Cape and maybe spend some time with their family and whomever. So I think the layoff did us a little bit. It didn't seem to affect us last night a little bit. I thought we came out early a little bit flat and a little bit rusty, but we kind of woke up 6th, 7th inning and played well enough to get us a win. So I think that rest did us some good. So it all depends on how we're playing, on whether we welcome a day off or not.
Exactly. And one man who's no longer on the roster is Zach Fish, your outfielder out of Oklahoma State. What changes now without him on the roster? Are there moves to be made without him? How much does that hurt moving forward?
Well, it hurts a little bit. I just was talking with Brownie. The question was, do we need to bring anybody in? And Brownie's answer was, we really like the guys we have. Right. Connor Harbour has been on the mound a couple times and thrown a couple innings, an inning and outing. If we needed to go to him as an outfielder and a hitter, he was a very good position player. He was a draft pick by Baltimore, a late round guy, but he's an offensive guy and a legitimate offensive guy, even though we've used him on the mound. So as long as we stay healthy, as long as we keep the 12, 13 guys we have right now, including Connor, healthy, we're going to be just fine with what we have.
A win today would clinch a playoff berth against Cotuit. His first pitch is coming up at 5 o'clock right here on the Firebirds Extra pregame show. And I'm glad you mentioned it, Connor Harbour. If you do need to use him in the outfield, how often will you go to him and put him in as a position player with a week left in the season plus playoffs?
Well, if we are fortunate enough to clinch a playoff spot and a guy needs a day, then we wouldn't have any hesitation about moving Harbour into any of the outfield spots. He's a very good athlete. He was a 3-sport athlete in high school and football, basketball, baseball, I believe. But he's good out there. He can run a little bit. He's got a good arm, obviously, and swings the bat well. He's been in our BP group, so we wouldn't have any problem running him out there and letting him run around the outfield.
Well, today, Trent Skutnik gets the start on the mound for you guys as the Firebirds are going to take on the Cotuit Cavaliers coming up at 5 o'clock. The All-Star making another start. He's been sensational this season. I want to look at the bullpen first before we touch on Trent. We saw Jeremy Rhodes yesterday out on the mound. One thing you mentioned to him recently was you want to see him go at that fastball more often. He loves his slider, but you want to see him go at that fastball, use that command. How often do you use that message to some of those pitchers out of the bullpen, and especially Jeremy when they take the rubber?
Well, our message has kind of been from day one, fastballs in, early win. And guys don't like the ball, velocity in on them using wood. They don't want to break bats, and we feel like if they can get in there, it's effective. So, hey, Jeremy did a good job last night. He was up to 94. He's got a good arm. He's a big physical kid. So I was really proud of the way he threw the ball. He hadn't been out on the mound in a while like some of those other guys. So you're going to see, 4 or 5 guys tonight. We need to get Powell on the mound, and we need to get Toomey on the mound, and Troop will close if needed. But it wouldn't hurt Trooper to have another day off as well. So the guys that didn't throw last night are going to throw tonight. And I left out Brian Clark, so BC will be out there as well.
And they do it if they can string it all together. A win would clinch a playoff berth. You said it hasn't happened yet, but it can happen today. If so, let's say you pick up the victory one of these next couple days or so, you clinch a playoff berth. How confident are you in that rotation, that three-headed monster, I guess I can call it, heading into the playoffs with Trent Skutnik, Corey Miller, Bobby Pointer? How solid is that slate if you were to make a playoff push on the mound?
You know, we have a lot of confidence in those guys, and the way it's set up right now, Scuddy would start game one. He would start next Tuesday, and Bobby Pointer would start next Wednesday. Bobby's going to start tomorrow at Brewster. And then Jared Miller, who's been throwing the ball really well, would start next Thursday, and he's starting on Thursday. So the first three games are set up as well as we could possibly set them up. And so, like I said, hopefully if we're fortunate enough to get in, our rotation is as good as we could have hoped for.
A win tonight would do it. First pitch is coming up at 5 o'clock here at Lowell Park. He's manager Kelly Nicholson, and Trent Skutnik, like we mentioned, he'll be on the mound tonight against the Kettleers. Coach, as always, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the time.
As always, thank you, Fitzy.